This is going to be core stability level 2. What I really like about this is that you can do this. The likelihood of your back pain is going to go down. Okay, now this is a process, so we're going to take one thing at a time here. There's going to be 3 stability exercises: a bird dog, straight leg raise, and a side plank. This is what it's going to look like. Bird dog is you get set up on hands and knees, or yes, hands and knees, just like this, and you want to make sure your spine is neutral. If you're not sure what neutral means, it just means that it's centered. So one good way to practice this, and you don't necessarily need to do this every time, but one way to practice this is that you can do a cat camel. So you tuck all the way in, you go all the way down, and then you go in between that, and that in between is that neutral spot. You don't necessarily need to do that every time, but that's the way you can find it. Okay, notice her shoulders are over her wrist vertically. Okay, she's not back here. That's not a good spot. She's up here. Same thing with the hips and knees. She can bring her knees just a little bit closer in. Okay, her hips are right over her knees. She's not sitting back, and she's definitely not, go forward a little bit. She's not forward either. Okay, so this is a good neutral position. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to hold yourself right here, and you're going to bring one arm up at a time. So in this case, she's going to bring this one arm up, and she's going to reach, and she's going to hold. Notice that she went from a 4 stand to a 3 stand type of stance, but she didn't move. That is what key stability looks like. She's not going down, and she's not sagging down on her shoulder. She's up nice and tall through here, pushing up, reaching forward, and staying fixated through here. You do this for about 10, 15 seconds maybe to start with. Slide your hand down, you come right back up with the same arm or leg, which I'll show you in a second, and you don't move. That's the idea of this, is stability, okay? Let me show you with the other arm. So she comes up, and she stays nice and tall. Again, come down a little bit on the shoulder. She's not down here. See how much her shoulder blade's winging? No, you want to stay up, nice and tall, push forward. That is good core key stability, okay? Now on the leg, what it's going to look like, bring this leg back, is that she's going to go on the ball of her foot here. The tendency for your hip is that your hip tends to want to fall. You're not going to let it happen. You're going to think nice and tall through the shoulders and through the hip, keeping this as like a tabletop, okay? That is where you want to stand. Now, as you bring the leg in, bring the knee in to rest, after 10 to 15 seconds, she goes back out and she holds and she keeps it right there. That is a good bird dog for one arm and one leg at a time. Let me show you what the other one looks like. Go ahead and bring this leg out. And she stays nice and tall. Notice her hip didn't drop. Her hip stayed straight and neutral, not compensating at all. Stay nice and tall through the shoulders and through the legs. That's what a bird dog is. Now go and lay down on your back. I'm going to show you what a straight leg raise looks like. With a straight leg raise, it's exactly what it sounds like. You get one leg that's going out, and the leg that's out, you put your hand on the obliques. And if you're not sure where that is, you have your ribs, your hip bone, the one right in between. The other hand is going to be right here on the back of her hip bone, right here. The reason why is because you want to use that as a pressure gauge. In other words, when you lift your leg up, as long as you still feel pressure from your hip, you're a good neutral position. If you start to feel that hip raise away from the hand, then you're not stabilizing. So she's going to point the foot towards her. She's going to brace through here, through her hand, and then she's going to lift up right through here. She didn't notice her hip didn't drop or twist. She stayed straight. So again, she's going to brace, take a breath into the hand, and then lift up, and then she's going to hold. This is a straight leg raise. This is all it is. It's just holding, working that front stability, okay? Again, if your hip starts to elevate or do anything in that manner, then you got to come down and reset. Now let me show you a side plank. Go ahead and let me, before I get to the side plank, let me show you the other leg. I'm going to come up. Okay, from here, so you switch hands. That leg that's straight, that's the one that's on the oblique. She braces, lifts the toes towards her, and holds. She's not up here. That's just cheating. Okay, you're just holding it straight through here. You're squeezing through this quad. Okay, you're keeping that leg completely straight. If your knee starts to bend, then you're not really holding it as a good stability position. Okay, go ahead and get on your left side, and let's talk about what a side plank looks like. She comes up on her elbow. Okay, both knees are bent. Hand is going to be on the hip. Now, notice in this position, her spine is sort of curved down. The idea of stability is to reinforce a neutral spine. The way you can get there is you simply push your hip down. Notice that straighten her spine out. Now from this position, she simply brings her hips up and forward, races it in. She's not hanging back and she's not twisting around. She's staying nice and tall right through her oblique, right through here. She's keeping a really good straight angle, holding it for about 10, 15 seconds. Now when you come down, you push your hips back because you're maintaining that neutral spine and moving only through the hips. And then once you're ready, you come right back up and you hold and you brace. This is working that lateral stability. The bird dog was a good general stability. Straight leg raise is good front, and this is good side, lateral stability. Come down, and this repeats. So those are your core 3 exercises at this point in time.